Hello everybody, my name is Nick from CSX42 Gaming, and I'm bringing you a bit of a different video today. I guess you could call this my 700 sub special. It wasn't really planned that way, but you guys brought the channel to 700 subscribers, and that is awesome, so I guess this one's for you. So without further ado, let's get into this. Today I'm going to be giving you 10 simple tips that you can use to improve the quality of your levels or just make building easier for you. These are in no particular order, however, they all are pretty useful. Some are more useful than others, but it's a good idea that you all know these. So let's get right into the list. First off, we have the blending tool. Most beginning creators don't even know either what blending is or how it works. According to the game's wiki page, the blending tool, and I quote, makes the color more transparent the darker it is. For example, using a bright red deco object with blending activated should not look that different. However, by adjusting the color to darker shades of red, eventually reaching black, the color gradually fades until it is completely transparent. To use blending, simply check the checkbox marked blending that usually can be found when setting a custom or base color. While there are rare cases in which not using blending does make a given decoration or block set look nicer, and in any case it's a good idea to check both possible outcomes, I still would suggest putting it to use as often as you can. Next on the list is to avoid copy and paste to a degree. Now before you get confused, no, I'm not telling you to never use the copy paste button in the editor at all. It's actually a very useful and powerful tool for many creators, including myself, and can speed up creation by a large margin. However, it's easy to get carried away with this powerful tool, and some inexperienced or impatient builders have done just that, making their overuse of the copy paste painfully obvious in the final product. Now, I can't really tell you what is or isn't too much copy paste with a definite value or amount. However, I would recommend experimenting with any other possible designs before filling the given space with a copy-pasted element. Needless to say, however, in the common cases of things like a decorative top and bottom border, or a custom background of a given block design, or any similar large-scale case where copy-paste would be useful to build as a whole, go right ahead. Number 3. Avoid using player colors. This one's rather specific, like a couple of other things on this list. However, it's a good thing to be aware of. When setting colors for a section of a level, and when creating a color scheme, if you want the color scheme to stay consistent, don't use player colors. Sure, it could look nice when you play the level, but that's only because your player colors fit the color scheme of the level. However, if someone else plays the level with completely different colors, chances are for them it won't look as good. Again, as with the copy-paste rule and the blending rule, there are exceptions, and sometimes there are places where player color use could fit nicely in the level, no matter the color. That said, with the unpredictability of possible results judging by a given player color, it's usually better to avoid player colors rather than put a good color scheme at risk. Number 4. Remember to use corner pieces. Again, this is rather specific but can really show the difference between a good builder and a completely inexperienced one. Mostly, and originally for me at one point, this is because people use slopes or corners despite possibly not knowing that they can fill the gaps in or how. When I started, I didn't even notice the corner shapes in the boxes at the bottom of the screen, as I assumed they were empty due to a possible bug. Turns out all along they were there, just tucked away in the corners of the boxes. Number 5. Use of layers. While this one isn't really to be used to make your level better, it can really make the level editor a more organized place for your projects. By using the numbered arrow buttons in the right sidebar of the editor screen, you can scroll throughout the individual layers or choose to display all the layers at the All setting. This can be useful for someone who uses complex designs or simply has a need to separate certain design elements to make manipulation easier. Number 6. Study experienced builders. I cannot stress this one enough. Without doing this, a builder could take exponentially more time to develop skills than someone with some inspiration. There are literally millions of levels out there, most of which will have design elements, block designs, and other decorative features that you could find intriguing. That said, I'm not telling you to directly steal design elements and copy them object by object, because depending on the level, it can be obvious what was stolen and you could possibly gain a bad reputation for being unoriginal. It's best to instead try and incorporate certain traits of others' designs into your work and make the elements fit together, and later you could possibly develop your own blend of styles that suit your preferences. Number 7. Be careful with color schemes. While some builders, such as myself, don't bother with this and prefer monochromatic color schemes, many creators can create arrangements of multiple colors that fit together and use them effectively in levels. While in some cases that can be difficult and time-consuming, I would at least recommend limiting yourself to 1 or 2 colors until you can work well with those, but not until then I'd recommend using any more. Number 8. Variety. Similar to the copy-paste statement from earlier, you might prefer a certain block type or design element. However, don't scatter it across an entire level. it's best to try and create a new design for each element of a level or decoration, which in turn, if done effectively, can make your level look significantly more complex and diverse. Number 9. Be cautious of object usage. While currently this point has little to no backing, as most builders employ Cheat Engine to surpass the current 30,000 object limit, while this does lead to some very intricate and possibly laggy levels, for the sake of simply not having to use Cheat Engine, it's good to learn how to make a level look complex while remaining under the object limit. This is relevant currently as well, with the upcoming fixed object limit of 2.1. While it still is higher than our current 30,000, it won't be passable, rendering Cheat Engine users useless and forcing builders to work with only what they have. Number 10. Don't quit. Coming from me, some of you may find this ironic, but don't give up on a design if you run out of ideas for it at a given time. To build a good level, you need to be patient. My first few levels took merely a few days, and they were honestly awful. Some of you may be familiar with my best level called Be Happy. Sure, it looks good and all, but still, that took 6 weeks to build. Take time building your levels. Change things if necessary. Don't get discouraged if your mind draws a blank at one point. You could take the opportunity to take a break and play some other levels to gain some more inspiration again. Believe me, this one can be difficult to follow through on, but if you fall into this trap of a loss of motivation for ideas, just stay patient. These tips, at least regarding a beginner or less experienced builder, can come in handy when trying to get that first rated level or even that first feature. But you must remember, building in some cases can be hard. If you are unsure about any design you have made, find someone you may know who is experienced or check any possible comments that appear on the level, if it is published, of course. Feedback can be a very important part about building a good level, and if you can adapt to the constructive criticism and evolve to fit it, you could be on your way to some pretty cool creations in the future. That's it for this, I guess, not really top 10, but list of things. Credit to Viprin for helping me make this list, and thanks to Viprin and TurtleBro for checking it over and making sure everything was good and I got all my points. That's really all I have to say. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, please subscribe. If you have any questions, comment down below and I'll answer them the best I can. But that's pretty much it for today. Yeah. See you guys tomorrow. Happy building.